Sorry. Okay. So might have heard a lot of buzz around it. What basically the generative AI is. Might have heard a lot of things regarding AI taking up the jobs. AI is entering into a lot of different domains. So what we'll do is first of all let's try to understand where exactly all this started. Okay. Let's say now before understanding what data science is, let's understand how data came into play. Okay. So in very simple terms, I'll just explain you. Let's consider if we talk about a time from let's say 15 years back. Okay. So I think everyone is almost from the same generation. Few of them are maybe a little bit older. So at that particular time, we barely had a mobile phones, right? I mean, we used to have let's say one phone, two phones in a house. That too, as far as we Indians are concerned, we used to have like small button phones. So there was no such thing called as smartphones. Okay, so there was nothing called as smartphones. But when all these particular smartphones started coming into play, everything started going online. Everything was online. Every now meetings are online, classes are online. Every single thing that you see around is online. So because of that, what happened? The amount of data that started producing was very huge. Now you can just understand. Let's say everything is being accessed online, right? So you have a lot of different mobile phones. Online lectures are there. Online video games are there. Like emails are there. So everything is online. So because of that, what happened? Data that was started producing was very huge. So to handle this particular data, what we required something that is what exactly we call it as data science. Okay. So now to handle this particular data, there are different ways. Now when we specifically talk about data science, now there are multiple fields into data science. Okay. So let's say there are multiple fields. Let me just open one thing. Okay. So there are different fields that we talk about when we talk about when we talk about this data science. Okay. So in the data science there are multiple fields. First of all, we start with something called as data analyst, right? So what is a core work of a data analyst? Let's say whatever kind of data that comes into you, okay, so finding the best possible insights from that particular data, that is what is the work of data analyst, right? Means let's suppose now you are working for let's say a hotel domain, right? So with respect to hotel, you have, let's suppose you have been given a data to understand and manage to see what kind of customers are actually attracted towards you, or based on the previous data, what kind of customers are actually interested into your let's say business. Okay. So let's say now everyone, we all go different malls, we go different shopping, we go. So everywhere you see it's a data science that is being applied, right? So now with respect to hotels, how exactly they deal? Let's suppose now you have a huge amount of data, right? So what they'll do, as an analyst you will be given a data, right? And you will be asked to analyze that particular data. So while analyzing that data, what you will do is you will try to find best possible insights from that particular data. Means what? Let's suppose in what exactly is a let's say what kind of months basically people prefer to come to your hotels, what kind of hotels do people prefer, what is usually their budgets. So based on that, what we do is we try to apply different marketing strategies to attract those kind of customers. So as a data analyst, now what you are doing, you are responsible to handle that particular data. Now there are like multiple tools that we will learn in this whole data analyst thing that we just discussed. So there is something called as, we'll start from the very basic, that is what exactly is a simple Python. Because see, Python is the fundamental of every single thing that we see around. Like you talk about machine learning, you talk about deep learning, you talk about simple data analysis, you talk about everything. Python is the core foundation of everything, right? So Python is the first, and then eventually all the things you see around that comes into play. So based on Python only, machine learning is created, your NLP is created, deep learning is created, right? So your first thing, that is your deep learning, sorry, your data analysis is purely starts with your simple let's say Python. So in Python, what we do, we try to create and start from understanding very basics of it, like how exactly the Python is helpful to create and analyze the best possible data from it. So there are like different fields that we have, let's say simple libraries that we have. We call them as let's say NumPy, pandas, So there are like multiple libraries that we actually have, and based on that, what we do is we try to show how exactly, based on those algorithms, we try to show how we can extract the most meaningful insights from that particular data. Okay, matlab abhi you can see, right? So just simple thing that I told you. So that is how exactly, you try to create, or let's say, try to, how exactly an analyst will try to analyze that particular data, right? Now again, when you talk about this simple data sciences, right, now you might see, okay, what kind of applications that you see around, you see anything around. Let's suppose now everyone might be using, let's say, Instagram, Facebook, everything you might be using. Everyone might be using, online websites to buy the stuff, right? So when you, let's suppose now, when you go to buy something, let's say you want to buy a shoes, right? So when you go to buy a shoes online only, so you will see that after that particular point, you will always again and again and again see the ads of the shoes only. Okay, you will see the ads of shoes only. So now what is that? So that is called as a recommendation system. That is one of the core domain of this particular data science. Means what? Based on the interest that particular user has, we are trying to recommend the exact same things to that particular user. Means what? See, there was a time, right, back in the time, you might have seen that, like, different people from different companies, they used to come on a bike, let's say, to sell some particular items. तो उस टाइम पे what, our parents used to say, अरे यार उसके पास मत जाओ, he's a fraud. That was like a common analogy, right? So now in that particular case, it was a whole as a global marketing. Means you don't know how many people are actually interested into your product, right? Because you don't have idea, right? Let's suppose now a particular person goes into this particular, let's say there is one guy, okay, who is coming into this particular mohalla. Okay, let me admit these guys. Okay, let's suppose now there are particular people, there is a particular person from a company who is coming and trying to sell you something, and he is coming into this particular mohalla. Let's suppose now there are almost, let's say, 100 people into this particular, let's say, in this particular area. Now we know that out of those 100, like, we know that literally the conversion rate would be, let's say, less than 5 or 6, right? Because see, you are randomly going anywhere to sell anything. You don't have any idea, behind that, whether those people are interested into that or not, whether they actually want to buy this or not. So that was a time when, people were spending, like, companies were spending millions on this particular ads just to, promote their things. Because understand, like, there is a guy, so the salary of this particular person, then there is a traveling expenses, then, carrying all these particular things and going across everywhere to sell that particular thing. So it was charging, means what, the, let's say the amount that they were spending in the ads was very, very huge as compared to what they were actually earning. Okay, means yes, definitely they were in profits, but that was a, let's say, thing. But now when recommendation systems came into play, when the data started coming in, so then what exactly they thought? Okay, then why not to use the data science over here? Like, when you know that this particular person is just interested into shoes, right, then what is the need of the, what's the need to show this particular guy about t-shirts? As of now, he's only interested into the shoes only. So let's, show him the shoes only, right? So then what happened was, it was a direct marketing. Means it was directly one-to-one marketing. Now guys, just understand how much amount of money that companies have saved. Means they literally saved millions through this particular direct marketing. So this was like, one of the core domains that we talk about, when in terms of data science. Another very, great use case, I think everyone might have seen about Tesla cars, right? So automatically they're, driving. Okay, so then these are something called as hybrid deep learning models. So there is a concept that we learn into data science that's called as hybrid deep learning. So in this hybrid deep learning, what's happening is there are multiple things that are coming up. Means what? How the car is getting to know we have to stop when the signal is red. How it is knowing, okay, we have to turn. How it is knowing that, we have to stop. Means multiple things. It is just driving like a human. Okay. So you might see, okay, there is a facial recognition. You just take a phone like this and, immediately the phone gets scanned. And eventually you can just see, yes, everything is in place. Okay, immediately phone will open up. Eventually that's like a one part. Now you can think about another applications like, okay, now let's say you just do the overspeeding and immediately there is an, pop-up that is coming into your phone saying that, okay, yeah, you have crossed the, speed limit and you have to pay this particular fine. So how exactly these things are happening? So then what's happening is, there are some auto detections that are happening with this machine learning models, which are detecting these number plates. They're finding you in the database and they're sending you the fines. Okay, so now technology is this much advanced that we have gone. So these are, let's say few examples. Now if we talk more about it, right, let's suppose now, if I'll just show you, let's say, okay, let's see now, see here, if I write, just write, let's say Virat. Okay, now see, as soon as I write one single thing, you will see that I will get different recommendations. School is there, stats, age, net worth, every single thing is there. So this is something called as next word prediction. So that is a core part of NLP, natural language processing. We'll come to that, what that field is. So means that is also one of the core applications of what we call it as a data science. Means as soon as if I'm putting up this up, okay, so you will see that you will not only see Virat Kohli, you will see every single person that is attached to this particular person. His all the profiles, maybe his teammates, his wife, children's, every single thing will be attached. Okay, so how exactly this Google is understanding? Because they have these machine learning models which are in place. When you search about one particular thing, immediately they are trying to find every single thing that is related to this particular person. Okay, so that is like one of the very core, let's say advancements that we have. Now see, there is something called as, let's say, language translation. Okay, language translator. Okay, now see, when you write something, let's say hello, my name is, okay, and let's say you just want to make it to any different thing. Let's say you want to take in Hindi, okay, hello mera naam kya hai. So how exactly these things are happening? So that is called as, now see, this is the main concept of something called as transformers. So transformers kya hai? Whatever ChatGPT that you are thinking, right? So ChatGPT ka first model was transformers. Means what? We are word by word we are trying to understand how things are coming, and word by word we are trying to predict that into the next particular sentence. It is called as next word prediction. So that is like another very huge application of data science. So like this, guys, data science is not limited to one single field. It is into healthcare, it is into finance, it is into medical sectors, it is into healthcare sector, it is into agriculture sector, it is into sports industry, right? So every single place that you will see, you require data science. Now you might see different chatbots which are in place. So let's say all those chatbots, what they will do, go to any website, you will see that those chatbots will exactly try to answer and replicate in a way that you want to. Means what? Let's say ChatGPT is there. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is the first model of natural language processing. So even if you want to learn about generative AI and quickly get onto this field, before that you need to learn about something called as natural language processing. Okay, so in natural language what happens? See, every single thing that deals with the textual data, wherever you will see a textual data, we will talk about natural language. Means what exactly humans thought, why not to create a model which can be as intelligent as human? In very simple terms, why can't we create something which can be as smart as human being? So then they started building this particular natural language, whole field of natural language. So here what we do, whatever application that you see, let that be, you see, okay, you give ChatGPT any task, summarize something, you try to, tell him to, find answer about something. So every single thing originates from this natural language processing. Okay, so this is like one of the most in demand field in this current world today. Like people need experts who are, they have the good knowledge into natural language. And I am working as a data scientist for almost 5 years into the same domain of natural language and generative AI. So this particular domain is something that is booming up now. So now what we are doing is, the program that we have scheduled is completely related to this data, NLP Gen AI only. But when we say end-to-end data science, then we'll start with simple Python only. Okay, now in the Python, will it be just like, okay, simple data structures bata diya, simple things ho gaya? That it is not enough. Every single time we are doing something, we actually have some real world use case that is in place. एक कोई real world use case है, उसके बारे में you will have to solve that particular thing. For every single thing, you will have some evaluation on it. उसके बाद if you have any kind of doubts, regular doubt sessions are there, you can come connect me, because there is 1 day gap between the 2 sessions, so you can just come connect and you can ask about that particular part. Now in that particular thing also, now you will see, okay, let me show you one more thing. Let's suppose now you go to Myntra. Okay, you go to any website, let's say you go to this website. Okay, so now as soon as you click on men, right, you will see that here you got /shop/men, right? You click home, usually shop home living, you click, let's suppose now inside the men, let's say you click t-shirts, you will see men t-shirts. Means what? Whatever this slash thing that you see, right, that is called as endpoints. that is called as endpoints, and that is what exactly you build in the actual industries. Okay, so whatever code you will write, how to convert that particular code into this particular, let's say, endpoint. Let's suppose now there is some kind of code that is being written to show all these t-shirts, right? But how exactly that code was written, and how exactly that code was written to convert that into the something called as fast APIs, something called as fast APIs. Okay, so this is what exactly is one of the most important things that we learn in simple Python. Okay, so then whatever project that will build something similar in with respect to, let's say, Python, where we'll try to create a simple application where we'll try to host it like this. Okay, now after Python is done, then we'll move into the data analysis. Now see guys, now in the data analysis, most of the times what you will do, many things you can explore. You'll always see that very simple things are explained. Let's say simple Power BI, simple Kaggle projects. Okay, so these don't work anymore, I'm telling you, because on a regular basis we see resumes of different people, right? Different freshers. 90% of the resumes are exactly same, means he also have the same data, he also have the same data, he also have the same data, right? But no one teaches you about something called as ETL pipelines. This is core of a data engineer work. But this is what makes a proper data analyst work in the industry. When you are a data analyst, you are obliged to do this particular pipelines, you have to build this particular pipelines. So what exactly these pipelines are, you can just understand. These are the data pipelines that you have to have in place. Because see guys, now when you talk about simple, let's say a simple idea about artificial intelligence, what is that idea? Idea is that we want to build something that can think like a human being. Now let's suppose we have a kids in the house, right? So do we teach kids, okay, this is how you talk, this is how you laugh, this is how you say mom, this is how you say dad? So we don't say, or we don't teach those kind of things to the kids, right? What we do, it is just like whatever gathering or whatever surroundings that it has, automatically it will try to learn those things. Automatically it will learn, yeah, by listening it will learn, by understanding it will learn. Okay, so it is just like a kind of an action or a data that is happening in front of him. Because of that, it is learning all these particular things. Okay, so data science is exactly the same thing. Means what, we are not defining a set of rules. मतलब क्या, हम लोग उसको एक सेट ऑफ रूल्स नहीं दे रहे कि हाँ अभी आपको ये करना है, अभी आपको वो करना है, अभी आपको वो करना है. इट इज़ ऑटोमेटिकली अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट वी कैन हैव टू डू नेक्स्ट, what to do next. But for this particular thing, what is the most important thing? सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है वो डेटा मतलब क्या, अगर जैसे मान लो कोई बच्चा है, एंड इफ़ यू डोंट टॉक इन फ्रंट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर किड एट ऑल, so will he be ever be able to talk? He will never be able to talk, right? Because how, he's gathering the data from the surroundings. Oh, what is mom is saying, dad is saying, what is relatives, parents are saying. So eventually he's gathering everything. But here exactly same thing happens. The more and more data that you provide to this particular data science, or let's say we call it as algorithm, the better and better understanding it will have. Okay, so when you talk about so when you talk about this core, let's say, just a second, whiteboard, right? Yeah, so when you talk about this particular core data science, okay, so these are all the different fields that actually comes into play, right? So these are all the things. Let's say for now we were talking about this data pipeline, so you need to have all these particular data pipelines in place. Sorry, I just missed out on line. Okay, so means what, now you will need to collect the data from different resources. Okay, so that is like a different part, like how web scraping works, how you have to get the data, so all this particular process, how exactly will automate this particular process. Let's suppose now, see, you might be seeing that every day things are updating. Now is it possible for a website to update every day? Yes, but how they do that? They do that with automatic pipelines. They have automatic pipelines, means automatically data is being updated, automatically it is being deployed, automatically algorithms are improving. So why exactly it's happening? Because we have automated process. It is not possible every day for a human to do the same thing. It's say every day data is coming, so will we do every day, we'll insert the data, again we'll train the model, again we'll do the stuff. So that will be like a very high time consuming process. Okay, so therefore data engineers build something called as data pipelines, and this is like the most core important thing that you learn. So then what you do, you try to host these data pipelines. Like you understand, okay, yeah, now we are gathering the data from three different resources. Let's say you already have a database, of your company. So from there you are taking the data. Whatever additional data that you require, you are trying to take that from some third party app. If there is more data required, then you are trying to gather that from different resources, right? So you might see many times companies send you these Google forms to fill, right? They'll send you Google forms to fill the data about something or the other thing, right? So these are the small strategies that you apply to incorporate all these particular data pipelines in place, right? So this is like a whole work of a data analyst. So now what we are doing is we will exactly go in the same flow. We'll first of all learn about Python, then we'll eventually learn about NumPy, Pandas, all the libraries. Then we'll move into the SQL part, where we'll try to understand how exactly the whole SQL works. And along with this SQL and Python, along with Fast API, how exactly you automate all this particular process. So that is what exactly we'll do. Okay, so those are the kind of projects that we'll do. Now this is about, let's say, a data analyst part. Now when I come to, when I talk about, let's say, a core data scientist, now what is the work of this particular data scientist that we say? So what that will do is we will have whatever data that is being generated from here. So how can you use that particular data very effectively to build something, to build some kind of model? Let's say you talk about a model to detect the facial detection ho gaya. Okay, you try to build a model to let's say understand someone is committing frauds or not. Let's say in the finance sector, frauds are very common, right? So now from the whole bunch of data, how exactly you will detect that someone is let's say committing the frauds, right? That is like the core application of machine learning. Okay, so in the machine learning, as of now we don't need to go in very details about core algorithms. So what we'll be doing is whatever machine learning is required for your generative AI, so that will be learning. Okay, so that is gonna be like the first thing, machine learning. Eventually now we'll move into the deep learning part. Now again you might say ki machine learning, deep learning, what are these fields? So these are just the subfields of this data science. Now there is a special field called as machine learning engineer. There is a special field called as deep learning engineer. There is a special field called as NLP engineer. There is a special field called as data engineering. Okay, so there are multiple domains that we have into this particular data science. Now when you talk about a deep learning, so what happened was, as we started moving from, let's say, 2010 and above, right? So the data and amount of data started increasing. So as the amount of data started increasing, it was very difficult for simple machine learning to handle this huge amount of data. It was just like you are trying to fill the 5 GB of the data into the 2 GB memory card, right? So definitely it will not work. So that is what it was happening. So therefore, to handle the bigger amount of data, we incorporated something called as deep learning. Now into this particular deep learning, what we have, all the applications, let's say whatever things that you see related to images, videos, audios, everything comes from the deep learning. Like you say, let's say there is a AI application, which is listening to the image or voice, and you are trying to build the exact same image for it, or it is trying to mimic the voices. There are multiple things that are there, right? So everything originates from this particular deep learning. Okay, so in the deep learning we'll be learning about something called ANN, CNN and RNN. These are the three core factors of deep learning. Okay, so these three core factors we'll learn. Now after this we'll start with natural language processing. Right now, as I told you, natural language is the core application of what we call as this whole machine translation ho gaya. Then we talk about simple let's say ChatGPT model. So ChatGPT itself is like a one whole RNN model. Okay, means what? A sequential model. When I talk, let's say sequential means what? In very simple terms, I cannot write something like, let's say I write my name is Saurabh, something like this. But I cannot write is Saurabh my name. I cannot write this. Why? Because sequence matters, right? It has to be written in exact same sequence, then only it will make sense. Okay, if sequence will change, everything will fail. Okay, so this is where your natural language processing comes into play, right? So every single thing related to the natural language will start from the very scratch. We'll understand what are the algorithms that were used. Let's say now ChatGPT was not there. So before that, what was there? There was something called as transformers. Before transformers, what was there? There is something called as encoder decoders. So evaluation has started from there. So when you go for the interviews of generative AI, okay, at that time you will be asked about, okay, tell me what is transformer, tell me what is simple architecture of the transformer. So everything will originate from there only. right? So therefore, before moving into the generative AI, we'll learn core about how exactly this RNN works and how exactly the simple, the functions of, after RNN we had few different things like transformers. We'll learn about that, and then we will go into the generative AI part, right? Now into the generative AI, what we are, we have planned is we'll create four AI based agents, or let's say four AI based high level projects, which will be completely based on the agentic AI. Now see, into the generative AI also you have two different things. Let's say sorry, you have simple generative AI with simple prompt engineering. Means you are just trying to give some kind of prompt, and based on that you are getting some kind of answer out of it. Okay. Now when you just add more detailed advanced things to it, let's suppose now you will see that there are like multiple agents which are working as a customer support. Now there is one another agent who is working as a, let's say code developer. There is another agent who is working as, let's say, sales support. Means what, now we have the field of agentic AI that is into the place. Agentic AI means what, in this particular field we are building different let's say agents like this, so that they can all combine together and work together. Just like instead of human beings combining together, now multiple agents are combining together to do this particular thing. Okay. And guys, the biggest part is the most important part is this is very easy to learn. I would tell you it is more easy to learn than a simple and, let's say, classical machine learning algorithm. Even algorithms will have like a lot of advancements. Algorithms will have like very core mathematical understandings. If you want to understand machine learning algorithms, you need to have little bit knowledge about let's say simple let's say statistics, mathematics. But here you don't need to have that. Here it is just like 5 lines of code and everything is in place. But just because the names are very high, but yeah, you need to have the basics first, because on that basics only it is built. Like when you will try to achieve, when you will try to build these all models, you need to think about those basics, and then only you can implement all these particular things. Okay. So that is how exactly this whole syllabus is actually covered, and this is how exactly we're gonna cover this particular whole syllabus. So guys, this is like whole of a 6 month things that will go, right, in which we'll be covering all these different fields that I told you. We'll start from very simple analysis, eventually we'll move into the very advancements of the complete NLP, complete agentic AI, complete natural language processing. We'll try to cover every single thing that is there. Right. Now see guys, now that is not enough to get into this particular field. Now let's say, I think today also I posted, yesterday also I posted, recently I was having a batch of only 8 people going. So we only take the simple batches of 8, 10, 15 people. So out of that, 3 people are already placed. Now see, we don't guarantee anything. It is like 100% assistance that I am giving, because the way we are moving, the way we are planning to do this particular thing is very unique. Right. Now means what, let's suppose instead of simply building your portfolios, right, so what we are doing is we build let's say more better portfolios for you. Means what, let's say portfolio websites for you. Means let me just show you one of them. So let's say this is the one. Okay, let's say, yeah, you can just look at this one now. See here. So in here what you have, let's suppose guys, so here you will see that instead of simple resumes, you have everything in place. Like you have your experience, your projects, your contact, everything is there. Simply if anyone wants to view, they can download your resume, right? In here you have everything about you, like what you are doing, how much experience you have, what are the things that you are doing, right? Every single thing. After that, what kind of skills that you are using. Means whatever professional resume that is being, that should be there. So even see guys, even building the resume is also like a very great skill. Okay. So then about your work and experience, like what kind of projects you have built, right? So this is a project. Then eventually you will have a link over here. So that is not there over here. So you will have a proper link over here where you can, that link, if you click, you will directly go to your GitHub page, right? So if you come to the GitHub, you will see that all the different projects that you have worked on. So means guys, what happens, now people are not simply interested in your resumes. कि अगर आप उनको resume भेज रहे हो and you expect a call from that, because guys, for one single let's say job position, there are like 500s of resumes that are going, right? And now to stand out from that particular thing, we need to be unique. Okay. So what happens now, anyone can come, okay, see the proper things are written. Second thing is how to write the structure codes. That is like another very bigger and important thing that we'll do. Okay. Now that also, about that also I'll explain. So in this particular way, what happens, when you have such a innovative ideas to showcase your project and everything, so then it becomes very easy to showcase that okay how good you are and what are the kind of tech stacks you have. So in a whole project, in a whole syllabus, a whole that will cover, you will have minimum 7 projects to showcase over here. So see, it won't be same for all. It is just like simple, API, just like a simple website that we have created. You can just try to apply and add all those things for you, write all these particular things about you, and it will be shown to this particular portfolio. So your portfolios also will be building in your LinkedIn, will be regularly updating the things. Now understand here, see, updating LinkedIn regularly is now very very important, like connecting to the different people across the world, like in your domain, data science, everything, because those are the referrals that's gonna work for you. Let's say tomorrow you find out that there is an opening in company, then you go connect with them, tell about you, okay, in very short, okay, this is what I'm doing and I'm really looking for the opportunity. So because of that, what happens, it will just create a very very good impression for you. So let's suppose now every day we are learning. Let's say today we talked about what is NLP. So then as a learner, what you will do, you will go to your LinkedIn, you will try to write a very very small blog about that, okay, and then try to add different hashtags to it, try to add, connect different people. So because of that, what happens, your blog will get more and more views. So as it gets more spread, your network is increasing, and that shows your engagement into this particular field. Okay, so I have still seen, even my students also, I have seen those who are very active on LinkedIn, they regularly keep on posting the things. Automatically, even also they get different approaches. Okay sir, like can we connect or for a job opportunity, can we do this, can we do that? So means what, ki you are seeing engaged somewhere. So even that is also very very important. Okay, so along with that, your LinkedIn optimization, that also we'll be doing side by side. Along with that, we will also be building your portfolios in this particular way. So, and see guys, after the first module is done, immediately we'll start applying. If you are a fresher, then it will, as soon as we are done with this one, will first module will immediately start applying. Because what happens, it is for a freshers, it's bit difficult to get into this field, but yeah, it's not impossible. Like today, the student that got placed was completely fresh, just like a BSc mathematics guy. Okay, but he was able to crack it. So it is just like, the more and more you will show that you are more unique than others, the better approaches and the better opportunities you will get. Okay, so this is how exactly the whole plan and the curriculum is being designed. It is very perfectly designed, thinking about the whole idea and the whole things that we do. So basically we are, let's say a tech consultancy, like we provide the solutions about AI NLP. Okay, so where we have few clients which are across, currently it's across US and Canada only, and we are building the websites for them, we are building different AI solutions for them. So because of that, that's like a biggest plus point that we have. So we exactly know what is required. Okay, and so therefore after every single, even for your assignments also, you will see that this is, the assignments are also designed in such a way that they will point out to some real world application. Okay, yeah, there is some kind of real world thing that is being attached over there. Not just like I won't ask you to, okay, write a function to add two numbers. No, that is not expected, and that is not even the thing now. Okay, so designing that as a use case and then showing you, to let's solve that particular thing is a very very different thing, right? Now what you have is, you also have like lot of tools available in this world. You have chat GPTs, you have multiple tools where easily you can get the help in the codes. But guys, see, using that tool is 100% fine, but how effectively you're gonna use that? Because we want to build our logic, we simply don't want to copy paste something and paste it in your let's say assignment. We want to build your logic. So then for that also, what kind of approach we have to take, that also we'll see. So in this particular way, this whole curriculum is designed, right, which is completely industry based. And the biggest plus point is that we are not only giving the certificates, we are actually providing you an experience letter from us as a development company. Let's say let's show you. Okay, this is our development company. Okay, so just go here. Okay, this is like how we have been, AI solutions, custom development, there are like multiple things that we actually provide. Okay, so because of this particular thing, what is the biggest plus point that we have is, as a company, we are giving you a proper experience letter from us. Okay, proper experience letter showing that, okay, this particular person has worked with us for this much amount of time, and this is the kind of work that he has done over here, right? Even though, let's say you are from a non-technical background, then what we do is, very effectively and very smartly, what we'll do, we will try to add your previous experience and show that as a data science, right? Because see guys, now I think everyone is into the industry and everyone knows that, some or other simple things or some kind of jugards that we have to do, right? I mean, everyone does that. Like, no one gives the interviews very very properly. Everyone does some small or other things. That's like very very common, and it's very open to talk about it. So that's how we move. So let's say we also have even people who had, let's say 10 years of experience completely into non-tech, but then how exactly we showed us that, let's say we converted the 2 years of that experience of them as a data scientist. Okay, so instead of simply showing all the experience of non-technical, we showed that okay, in the last 2 years I have been working as a data scientist in my company. So for that, according to your own domain, according to the company that you're working on, you were there, so we already have the use cases. We can directly show, yeah, this kind of use case was there, and this is how exactly I have built, this is the kind of project that I have worked on. So because of that, what will happen, you will also have that experience thing that will be added on. Along with that, with us also, you will have, okay, yeah, 6 months you will be working with us. It will be shown, okay, yeah, this particular person is with us for last 6 months, right? He's working with us as an intern, or let's say, as a full-time employee. And after that, eventually you can, apply with that particular thing into different places. So even for applying also, now see, when you have such a huge amount of things in place, right? So it really becomes easy to, let's say, apply anywhere, right? And it's very easy to even get the jobs and calls also. Okay, so in your resumes also we'll be adding all these keywords which are important. Now what happens is, people search for the keywords. Okay, he knows about deployment, he knows about ETL, pipelines, he knows about SQL, right? So along with all these particular projects that we are building, we will be, let's say, hosting all these particular projects on AWS, or let's say GCP, whatever it is. Okay, means along with all of this particular thing, you will also be understanding about what is MLOps, that is called as model deployment. Okay, so guys, this is the whole program. This is how exactly we have built, right? So I think I have talked enough, and if you have anything you can ask. Before that, I'll just tell you the fees for this particular whole end-to-end program that we have kept is 49,000. Okay, so if you and guys, trust me, okay, like it's completely fair in front of you. We are actually genuinely working into this. There is no such kind, no exaggerating into this, there is no sugar coating into this. Whatever is the real thing, that is what it is there. I'm actually working, and I am the one who is going to teach everything. Okay, at the same time, if you just go to any other website, right, you will see that only for end-to-end data science it will be like 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs, 60,000, 90,000. Then for generative AI there will be another fees of, let's say, 1 lakh, 90,000, 94,000. For agentic AI there will be another 30,000. Okay, so you can just go and check the curriculums, okay, and the fees over there. So very genuinely, I'm gonna cover all these particular things with 100% assistance from my side, that if you do it properly, that's my guarantee, you will, let's say, definitely get into this particular field. Okay, so that is all from my end. If you have any queries, please raise your hand. We'll take one by one.
I have a quick question. Do you think we'll get into because I've seen like in most job stuff they ask about generative AI now. They ask about Databricks. Is it Databricks, Azure ML, or they ask something about AWS Bedrock, stuff like that, that big organization used to build their generative AI.
See, when you talk about this pure, let's say you talked about Databricks, right? So Databricks is just like whatever data analysis that I told about. It is just a data analysis platform. Okay, where what you can do is, instead of doing analysis by yourself, you can just upload the data there, and that data analysis tool will do the all these different analysis for you. Okay, so it is not asked, everything is not asked. Okay, like you don't need to learn about everything. Yeah, if you know about AWS deployments, now see, you're not corely applying for one single field, you're applying as a generative AI engineer. So when you're applying as a generative AI engineer, you need to have all the different simple knowledge about generative AI. What is RAG architectures, what is generative AI, what are LLMs, how this chat GPT thing actually works. Okay, and along with that, what is the plus point? Like you are also doing a model deployment, you are also hosting that somewhere. So because of that hosting, what's happening is you have that particular edge. Okay, so that is enough. when you are saying, okay, yeah, I have already deployed this particular model on a AWS or GCP cloud, and I have that understanding about that, so that is sufficient. So I don't think someone is again gonna ask you for more things. Okay, see, having the, let's say there are two things. Okay, when you get a particular JD, job description, so there are like thousand things written over there, but when you actually go into the interview, they will not ask you for thousand things, right? So it might happen you might have not appeared for the interviews, so that might be the case. These doubts might be coming into the mind, but these two are completely two different things. Okay, so did not worry about that, right? So this agentic AI thing, when you are learning, when you are hosting these models on the AWS, the portfolio itself will look such a great that people will be interested to ask you about the things that you have done, not something that you don't know. Okay, so one simple field is more than enough. Like AWS you are learning, that's sufficient.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes,
Then
yes.
a follow-up question is on, I didn't see in the, what do you call it, in the curriculum about troubleshooting or fixing AI models that break down, because we are having like different LLMs being built today and being subscribed to. However, I believe that the future of AI engineers and ML engineers will be trying to fix whatever errors will be coming
Very,
up in
very
the
true,
future.
very true, very true. So see, eventually we are now already into that phase where ML engineers, AI engineers are trying to see inside this particular chat GPT. Means what? As of now, this is called as a black box. Means you don't know what is going inside. It is just like a prediction based things are going on. Okay, yeah, it is being predicted. We know something is happening, and let's say, yeah, this is how exactly it's working. So that is the field, that is how exactly all these things are particularly going. But yeah, like eventually we are moving into that particular part. So guys, I hope everything was clear from let's say my end. If you have anything to ask, feel free to ping me, feel free to ask me, right? Still, if you want to ask about anything, maybe your fields are different, how you can switch into it, like anything is there, you can ask.
Do we get any soft copies or any learning document, Saurabh, in the LMS?
Yes, yes. See, regularly, whatever things we'll be learning, right? So, with respect to that, there will be a notebook that will be created. So, that notebook will be shared. Along with that, recording will be shared, and along with that, there will also be an assignment that will be shared with you. So, these things, will be shared with you simultaneously. Means all the things will be there together only. Yes, yes.
Is it possible for you to show the LMS once? Possible?
Let me just check. What is the average package in 1 minute? See, Chinmay, in total, this is like a whole 6 months course, right? So 5.5 to 6 months course, right? So now I just need to check about you and your background, like what you're doing. And see, it as far as the data science packages are concerned, usually the complete freshers do land the jobs around 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs, right? But now it depends like what kind of field you're working in, and let's say, how exactly or what exactly currently you're working on. So when all these things are in place, I think it will be easy for us to see like how much how much you can actually expect from it, right? Okay, so this is the let's say you can see LMS dashboard, where very easily you can just come and let's say once you are enrolled, right? So you'll be redirected over here. So from this dashboard you can, okay, let me go there again. Where is that? Yeah, okay. So when you continue the learning, let's say, so then eventually you have all the session recordings here. You will see a material over here, right? Like let's say what notebook is there. You will see the session slides if required, that will be shared, and notebooks will be shared. According to that, here notebooks means what you will have, like let's say what kind of assignment you have to do. Eventually you can download all this, that also option you have. Whatever recordings are there, those recordings will be uploaded over here, right? So as of now we have not uploaded the recordings because this is like a new course that we have started, like you can see 8 days being yet to start. So eventually now all these different fields that we'll be doing, like every single day whatever topic will be covered, that will be given over here. You can watch the recordings, you can view the material, right? So everything is in place at one single point only. So here on your dashboard only you will see every single thing, right? So this is how exactly this the dashboard basically looks like. Okay.
May I please suggest that we have an option where, like the assignments, where we can turn in assignments or turn in projects, and if it's graded and feedback given to us, and it's
See.
recorded on our dashboard to show our progress.
Okay, see that also we already have in place, right? Along with that, we also have these challenges we have in place, right? So in the challenges, you will see that you have the student challenges, you have the company challenges. Okay, so now what happens? Let's say if certain companies expecting some kind of certain candidates, so what they do, they have their own different dashboards. They'll log in through it. They'll paste their own challenges over here. Now from us, if a set of people or students is able to solve that challenge, then even it is easy for that company to hire company for to look for the good candidates, and even it is easy for you to approach that particular company. So into this student challenge also, like these are completely real based challenges. Let's say once the modules are completed, along with our projects, you will also have these kind of challenges where you will be building, let's say build an advanced NLP for a large language models, build an image classification models. You are being given estimated times, there are certain points given to it, right? So with respect to everything, you will see with respect to web development, database, machine learning, system design, every single place you will have the different challenges, right? So this is just like a one section that you already have. Similarly, company challenges are like still to explore. Once you log in, then you will see the different challenges that are being posted. Okay, so in general everything we have tried to let's say make it very structured, right? We have created this thinking solely about the people who actually want to get into this field. And one more thing is like the fees that we have kept is also like on a very average note, like the amount of money that people are charging, okay, which is much more less than what exactly we are doing and we are charging. Okay, you can just go and look for only data science, it will be like minimum 60 or 70,000. If you go for minimum NLP Gen AI course or agentic AI course, that will be minimum 50-60,000, right? So that is solely not the whole model. So as I already told and talked with many of you on phones also, so this is not our sole earning model. This is more like the place where we are trying to more help many people to get into this. Okay, but to run all these things, definitely you need certain amount, and for that we are charging that much amount. So guys, I think that is all from my end. I hope every doubt of everyone is bit cleared, and the batch will start from the 1st April, right? So all the details will be shared to you, and the 29th is the first session in the evening that will take, where we'll discuss more about the whole structure and let's say how exactly we're gonna move with respect to every single field. So now there are 3 batches. Data analyst and data scientist is like one batch that is going, and there is a NLP Gen AI who are specifically enrolled for NLP and Gen AI. So for both these batches, the timings will be told to you, right? Timings will be an evening time only, right? During the evenings only we'll try to add this particular times. So guys, that's all from my end. If you are really interested, you can ping me, right? So for the payments also, like we are not forcing too much, right? So you have the option to pay that into the 2 different let's say phases. One is like you can pay before while enrollment, like you can pay half, and after half you can pay after that. And let's say at a one time if you are doing, then we can just give the 5% additional discount, like that's maximum that we can do from our end. So you have these 2 things. But one thing is for sure guys, you will be benefited. You will not let's say regret joining us. You will definitely feel that change immediately, let's say after joining within a month or so, right? You will feel that okay, you are going in a right direction. We are regularly updating a lot of different things. We are actually involving in this particular thing. Yes, even as a complete fresher, it is very normal to feel okay, yeah, some things are difficult, we are learning something new, means what, you will feel that, that's totally fine. But as you will move deeper into this particular field, okay, then you will understand how well structured these programs are. So these programs are for everyone, even for the college students who are into their 4th year, have no idea about real world, have no idea about how to proceed. For them also this particular program is there. So you all are welcome to join. You can ping me thing after this message, after this particular meeting, and if you are really interested, we can move forward, and by tomorrow you can do your admissions, right? And maximum 15 people will be there in a batch, so more than that we don't take. Okay, so that's the only one condition that we have, because the main idea is to get you all into this field, not just to take like 50 people together and placing two of them. So that is not definitely an idea. So idea is to take 15 and at least try to convert as many as possible. Okay, so if you really think you want to change the career and switch into it, please join us. Okay, so guys, that's all from my end. By chance, if you have anything still to ask, you can feel free to call me. And one more thing I'll tell you is, interested, just ping me. I'll share you the rest of the details about payments and all, and you can directly enroll yourself over there. Okay. So bye bye guys. Thank you so much all for joining, and it was great talking with you. If you feel anything, you can ping me again. Right? Anything else? I'm okay to listen to everyone.
I'm good, Saurabh. I'll call you separately.
Sure. You can just call me. Okay. Sure. Okay, guys. Then I think we all are good, right? So yeah. Bye bye everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
I'll have the recording.